Thank you very much for coming this presentation of Hanover series. So shall I begin? Okay. At first, please let me introduce myself. My name is Iwao Uehara, and Iwao means a big rock, and my last name means upper field. Every Japanese name has own meaning, so my name means a big rock on the upper field. Kind of strange, but it's true. And I was born in 1964 in Nagano City. Anybody knows? Do you know Nagano City in Japan? We had a Winter Olympic game in 1998 in Nagano City. So 20-something, about 20 years ago. Okay. And my major is silviculture in forestry. And also, I research about forest therapy in the world. And also, I have a license of a counselor. Counseling is my major too. So I research about forest and human relationships. It's a very interesting field, I think. And this picture is when I was 5 years old. This is me. I found pine cone in the forest, and I was so glad. And I showed pine cone. Teacher, I found pine cone. So I posed like this, okay, 5 years old. And every Japanese kindergarten student have to go to forest 30 years ago. But now they quit, go to outside because the risk is very big. But 30 years ago, every Japanese kindergarten student had to go to this kind of forest area. And this is another picture. That is me. And I hold the tree this time. And I already practiced forest therapy in that time. Okay. And my forest in Nagano has no change. So 47 years ago and present, just the same. No change. And my tree has been alive too. Okay. This is my meditation place in Nagano City, a big rock on the upper field. Okay. There, my feet. Sometimes I come to this big rock and I meditation and I counseling for myself. This is my counseling place on the mountain. And my hobby is cooking. This is my today's lunch in my dormitory. I live in West Shore Hall. It takes 10 minutes from this building. Okay. This is my laboratory, silviculture laboratory of my university. And I teach 33 junior students and 21 senior students and 3 graduate students, a lot of students. I have to. And also, we have practice forest in suburb area of Tokyo. Most of Japanese forests are very steep and located in mountain area, like this. And we research many topics. He is studying about moss on the bark of the trees. And sometimes we research lichens. It is an indicator which indicate the air is clean at the place. So if you find these lichens, the air of that place is clear. And this is our artificial cypress forest. And there are medical plants on the forest floor. They are cinnamon, kind of cinnamon trees. Okay. And yeah, she introduced me some time ago. I was an exchange program student from 1986 to 1987, 31 years ago. And anybody read the article of yesterday's state news? My article was on the paper. Okay. This is me 31 years ago. This picture, my friend took this picture because this day was my birthday, November of 1986. Okay. And this picture I took 31 years ago, this building, natural resources building. Looks like just same, but 31 years later, the trees grows higher than before. Comparing, this is 1986, okay? And 31 years ago, but now it's quite different. And I lived in London Hall near the Grand River Street. And now London Hall is changed a little bit. Okay. And also 4 years ago, I came to MSU. And that time too, I presented at this Hanover seminar, 26th of February. Okay. At that time, I dedicated my books to MSU main library. So if you go to main library, you can find my books. Okay. And last year, we had 125th anniversary of Tokyo University of Agriculture last year. And your president, President Simon, visited our university. She is the first president who visited Japan in MSU history. Do you know that? Then I came back too. Okay, I talked with her. Okay, today's theme is forest therapy and the possibility in the United States too. Forest therapy is relaxation and occupational activities and walking in the forest. Forest therapy is making both of forest and human beings healthier, not only human beings, but also forest too. She has a dementia, recognition disability, and she is a nurse. She takes care of her in the forest. This is a rehabilitation course for her. And they have mental disabilities, and this is occupational therapy for them. Okay. Today's agenda is case studies in Japan, and I bring more than 200 slides, so please follow me. Okay? So don't go to sleep. Okay. Yep. Okay. And we have many kinds of trees in Japan, more than 1,000 kinds of trees we have. So many plant hunters have visited Japan from a long time ago, especially from Great Britain. The plant hunter has been coming to Japan to gathering special plants from Japan. Okay. Every year, I made tree examination for my laboratory students. This year, 170 kinds of trees I examined for the students. Okay. Japanese cedar, Japanese larch. We have larch too. Beech, maple, acer, and oak. Okay. And here I have a question. Do you know how many % of Japan land area is forest? Anybody knows how many %? And I made Japanese origami paper today. If you give me a correct answer, I give you this one. Anybody have? Raise your hand.
70%.
70. Oh, almost 70. It's correct. Okay. Yeah, great. Yeah. Congratulations. Okay. Okay. 67% of land area is forest. Okay. How about Tokyo? Do you know that? How many percent of land area of Tokyo is forest? Tokyo is quite a big city, but 12 million people live in Tokyo. Don't be shy. 45, almost. Okay, I give you another one. Okay. Okay. Pink one. Okay, 45 is very close. Okay, 50% is forest, even in Tokyo. It's amazing. Okay, but there are big problems too. Okay, one of the biggest problems is abundant artificial forest. We have to take care of artificial forest. Natural forest, it doesn't matter, but for artificial forest, we have to continue to take care of the forest. In Japanese forest, 40% is artificial and 60% is natural forest. Okay. And lack of tending artificial forest causes many problems, like tree diseases and land soil erosion, and sometimes depressed mood too. Okay. Then we utilize that kind of abundant forest for occupational therapy for mental illness. He is a teacher, but he had depression now. So he can't come to university right now. So he come to this forest with his student, and he attempted occupational therapy at this place. Okay. This picture is company people and their depression, and they cannot come to company. And we gathered them in the forest, and they carried the log in the forest for occupational therapy. And after only 1 hour, they got self-esteem. Anyway, I carried the log, and anyway, I did very good thing to the forest. So after 1 hour, they got self-esteem, self-confidence after occupational therapy. Okay. And we make counseling space in the abundant forest too, like this. And we counseling, group counseling, we attempted. So recently, he was fired from his company, and he talked, I was fired by my company, and everyone said, no, don't worry about that. So maybe you can find another new good job and better than the last company. And he said, okay, yeah, I try. And enjoying pool of leaves. Okay. So we switched abundant forest to communication area like this. Before, it's a cypress forest, artificial cypress forest. After, same forest. This is after 30% thinning cutting. Okay? Same forest. And also, we used wood tips from the thinning cutting for healing place. These wood tips making aroma into the air. So they enjoy the fragrance, and also the fragrance of wood tips keep away mosquitoes or bugs for about one month. Okay. And amenities estimation also changed before and after. Okay. Therefore, we need appropriate caring for the forest. Healthy forest provides us physical and mental health too, both physically and mentally health too. Then we call it forest therapy. So forest therapy encourages both of forest and human beings, not only for human beings, but also for forest. Purpose of forest therapy in Japan right now is at first promoting health for middle and old age. Middle age like me and old age. We have many old age people in Japan. About more than 20% of population is old age, more than 65 years old, it means. And next, forest therapy preventing lifestyle-related disease. For example, high blood pressure and high cholesterol, glycosuria, something like that. And the third, mental health. In Japan, many people killed themselves every year. And treatment for disabilities for purposes. Okay. And here we have two technical terms. Shinrin-yoku, it means forest bathing. And Japan Forest Agency named this forest bathing in 1982. Next, Shinrin療法, today's theme, forest therapy, its meaning. And I named this forest therapy in 1999 at Japanese Forestry Association. Okay. And in addition, there are two forest therapy. It is a little bit complicated. Shinrin療法, it is forest therapy, and original one, presented at Japanese Forest Society in 1999. And forest therapy for handicapped, disabled, illness, mental health, lifestyle disease, exercise, and so forth. Next, another forest therapy. Okay. Shinrin therapy. It's a Japanese English. Established in 2005, it is a trademark for business. Private foundation made Shinrin therapy for a trademark. Forest base, forest road, both trademark. And they began forest therapy for local business, as local business. Okay, so very similar, but contents are quite different. Okay, next, I bring 7 case studies today. Okay, first, importance of forest therapy in Japan is about mental health. About 30,000 people killed themselves in Japan every year. It is one of the worst countries in the world, Japan. And Japan, USA is here, so Japan is about twice much as suicide people living, suicide people in Japan. It's a very big sad thing. Okay. Case 1, it's a company people, forest park near the city. They come to this forest as mental health promotion. Workers of printing company. President of this printing company said, there are some depression workers in my company, unfortunately. So please take them to the forest and please deliver them your forest therapy. It was Osaka City. Osaka City is a big city too. And this time we utilized Forest Park, 1 hour away from Osaka City area. And this is a one-day trip. In the morning, they estimated their emotional mood, like depression, anxiety, fatigue, that kind of thing. And next, I introduced this forest park at first because the first question they asked me, is there any bear in the park? No, of course not. We have bear in Japanese forest, but this is a forest park. Snake probably is there, but we don't have bear in forest park. So they do not get used to this kind of area. So at first, I guide forest park just a little bit. Next, they are so tired, so I began from relaxation for them. Lay down on the floor, and there is a river here. And please listen to the river sound and the wind sound, and close your eyes, and shut off your smartphone, and lay down for 20 minutes. It's very simple, but after 20 minutes, they said it was very good time for me. Usually this time I have to make a phone to my client, but this time just I did nothing without anything. They said they are very happy in this 20 minutes. And next, they found your tree. And if you found your tree, good feeling. And you rely on that tree. Okay, this is Japanese elm. Okay. Next, move to other woods. And next, they did self-counseling for 1 hour, solo time. And I made counseling sheets for each client. What is your feeling and what is your worried problems right now, that kind of thing. They answered and they asked to themselves. And in the afternoon, we moved to another woods. And next, we did group work, and they found healing places in the forest park. And sharing healing places each other. It's a group work. And they estimated emotional mood again. And we made this kind of graph: tension, comfortable feeling, fatigue, depression, anxiety. So negative feeling is getting low, and the positive feeling is going up after the one-day trip. Next case is PTSD children. There are many PTSD children in Japan too, like USA. Okay. Probably you know post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. And this time, most of patients are ill treatment by parents, by violence, okay, or sometimes sex violence too. And the National Hospital take care of this patient. And there is a public forest park near the hospital. Okay. And the patient's age is 11 to 17 years old. And the special point, they have medical resistance. So if you take a medicine, it's no effect. They are pretty young, but they have medical resistance because from the very small age, they take medicine a lot of time. So now, right now, they have medical resistance. It's a very difficult point. So the medical doctors decided the best program for this kind of patient is forest walking. Why? Forest walking is pretty simple. This is a hospital. Probably this hospital have many variations of therapy, but this hospital decided forest walking for these clients. Do you know the reason? Can you guess? Anybody raise your hand? Why do these doctors decided the program is forest walking? The reason is these clients is very heavy illness. So forest walking is quite simple. So any client can try to forest walking. That's the reason medical doctor decided using forest walking. And one time per week and one time couple of hours in the morning, they tried forest therapy. And each time she is a medical doctor and me, went to the park together. Okay. And they had CBCL, Child Behavior Checklist. It's a worldwide common estimating sheets. And they estimated before and after forest therapy. Some article is very quite statistical low, but anyway, after the experiencing forest therapy, the patient showed the positive effects. And this hospital tries stress indicators too, blood test and urea test, and the result showed their stress, patient stress, decreased after the forest therapy. Discussion. And anyway, forest healed PTSD patients greatly in this case. But why? They are very severe clients, severe illness clients. How come they change it greatly? Someone can say the reason? Can guess the reason? Okay. This is silence, peace, and no words were good condition for them. If there is an instructor, okay, please gather here. This tree is cherry trees, okay? Do you listen? Like that, probably it's very, very bad condition for them. But this time, just silence and quiet and no words were good condition for them. Just a peace condition for them. Instructions or instructors are sometimes unnecessary for forest therapy. It's another great point. Forest heals patients. In the first year, totally 24 patients attended this forest therapy, and next year, 24 patients, all patients left the hospital. The first patient, after 3 months, only 3 months later, one patient left hospital. It was an amazing result this time. Okay. And the third, school teachers, okay, probably university teachers too. Recently, teachers have great stress. You know that? Monster parents, helicopter parents, and many problems in the school matters. He is the principal of this school, and he gave me an email, and please, your help. We need your help. Please come to my school, and please take me to the forest and deliver your forest therapy. Okay. At first, forest walking. Next, they do exercise. From this picture, can you guess the condition of these teachers? I asked the same question in my university, and one student said, okay, I understand. Teachers like sunshine, and teachers do not like sunshine. Two groups divided, maybe. But most of teachers looks tired. Female teachers are very energetic, but male teachers are not so fine. It looks like very tired. Okay. And we found healing place for them. And at first, we began relaxation as workers of printing company too. Okay. Next, they stay with your tree. Next, they spend solo time in the forest. She's a female teacher, but she got into the forest like hiding from someone. Okay. And in Japan, we have this kind of stress check monitor. It's very useful. It costs $200 about. And the teachers like this kind of material pretty much. Okay. teacher A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Okay? Teacher A, before forest therapy, his stress is 80 Ku per liter. But after forest therapy, almost gone, almost none, nothing. And teacher B decreased about half. Teacher C increasing stress just a little bit. D also, and teacher E at first, before forest therapy, he has a very low stress, but after forest therapy, his stress is going up. Okay? And teacher K, he had a great stress, and after forest therapy, his stress is decreased greatly. Can you guess what kind of teacher, teacher K?
Kindergarten.
Oh, okay. He is a principal of this school. He has a great stress. Okay. Next, case 4, local hospital. Okay. This hospital is surrounded by a forest, deciduous forest. Okay. And at first, we surveyed forest condition, wild animals, fox and deer. We have both, and crowns and flora condition, and planning of forest arrangement. Okay. And setting walking paths in the woods. And sometimes you see suffered tree like this in Michigan too. If you find this kind of tree in the woods, what do you do next for the forest therapy? Okay. We cut down and patient carries the log, and we made this kind of counseling space utilizing suffered trees. Area is very small and setting plural places and easy to access from the hospital too. Okay. And setting occupational program too. I cut this kind of branches on the road, and patient found these logs and carried to the one place. It's very simple occupational therapy, simple work. Simple work is an important point for mental illness. And setting walking path too. This forest is fortunately very flat area, so easy to set rehabilitation course. Light exercise and breathing in the forest, and group counseling in the forest, and sometimes walking rehabilitation too. And this article is Scientific American 3 years ago. Group therapy is becoming more popular in the United States too. Do you know that? Probably you can utilize the forest for group counseling and group work, group therapy. Right? And next case is utilizing abandoned forest nearby the hospital. Okay. Hospital having forest, but inside is like this, the typical abandoned forest, no treatment for more than 30 years. And workshop with medical staff at first. Then I did a workshop in the forest too, how to measure the crowns, how to measure the forest field, and forest survey. Medical staff began to work in the abandoned forest. They are not a specialist for forestry, but anyway, they tried to begin to work in the abandoned forest. Okay. This time we utilize cutting branches too. Okay. Okay. Making simple aroma water this time. Cut and put into the beakers. Next, put tin foil and boil for half an hour, 30 minutes. Then you can make instant aroma water from the branches and good smell. Utilization of the aroma water is for linen, pillowcase and sheets, And of course, dear Peter, garbage of the patients, because this hospital's patients are mostly old age. Okay. Setting occupational and recreational area in the abandoned forest. Okay. And working rehabilitation in the abandoned forest like this. And also occupational therapy too. Okay. And the patient decreased BPSD, behavioral and psychological symptoms of dementia. BPSD decreased after forest therapy. Okay. And next case is at depopulated village. Okay. This is a typical depopulated village in Nagano. Okay. He is dementia too, and he cannot go to toilet by himself. But when he comes to this forest, his memory is very clear, and he can talk to other people. This forest is very special for him because he planted these large trees long time ago. So this place is very special site for him. Okay. And remembering therapy for cognitive impairments in this depopulation village in here. He is a medical doctor, and he takes care of his patient in the forest like this. Okay. Case 7, local forest and the town people, ordinary people. Okay. And there is, of course, untreated woods anywhere. And visitors treat woods, okay, volunteer. And working together, it makes teamwork. And after the treatments, looks nice, looks neat. Okay. And sharing the feeling. Okay. Okay. How to practice forest therapy? At first, assessment for clients. Clients are most important matters. Physically, mentally, social conditions, ADL, and assessment of the forest, tree species, flower vegetation, soil condition, geographical, animals. Next, you make method and program. Working, occupational therapy, rehabilitation, counseling, relaxation. You make programs. Then practice anyway. For any forest type and how long and the distance and frequency, numbers of clients, and estimation and feedback. So how to practice forest therapy is this kind of steps. Okay. So we need specialists who can survey, arrange the forest, make programs, and coordinate with medical staff and clients like you. Next, facilitate programs that patients attend voluntarily. So if I had another chance, I would like to educate the specialists and programs at Forestry Department of MSU. I hope. Okay. Forest can be a healing place. Okay. Then, of course, it has great possibility in US forest because there are many beautiful forests in USA. Okay. But I took this picture in Germany. Landscape also heals our mind. Typical Michigan autumn forest. No, it is Nagano. Okay. Okay. Landscape also heals our mind. Okay. And rediscovering rural forest. Okay. Rely on your favorite tree. Lay down on the forest floor. And look up tree crowns and sky, and clouds too. Self-counseling in the forest too. Of course, sometimes you have to be careful in the forest. Possibility of forest therapy in USA, at first, recreation and relax, escape from city life anyway, as you know, pretty much. And adjustment of body and mind, wilderness experience for people need to reset lifestyle. Probably these 3 points are important in the United States, I think. Okay. And make clear fragrance from Michigan trees too. In my class, I try this making fragrance from Michigan trees. And peace is one of the charm points of U.S. forest. I take this picture in Baker Woods plot near this building. And MSU campus has such places too. Do you know this place in MSU campus? You know that? Okay. It's artificial pine trees. And my 2 books were translated in 3 countries, but not yet in English. So someday they will be translated in English too. Last week, I attended International Congress about Forest and Health in Europe. And many people asked me, do you write an English book? No, not yet. Okay, so maybe someday, in near future, my book will be translated, or I will write in English. So the most beautiful forest can produce the best wood. Mehler, German forest scientist, said in 19th century. Also, the most beautiful forest brings our health promotion too. Okay. This is the last slide, so let's find the possibility together in the US forest. Thank you very much.